Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It is now time for Game 4 in the North American Fall Challenger Cup Final, which ironically, the EU casters are taking over. I'm Velocity, I'll be your caster for the last few games with Lord WizKid, because, bless his heart, Shadow Boy, he's been casting for about 9 games straight now, and quite frankly, he deserves a rest. So, thank you very much to Shadow Boy.
Yeah, so we are still going to be going with these games. It's been an incredibly long day. We thought it would be, but it's got even longer as the time's gone on. It was 3 games to start off with in the first set in the semi-final. Then we had another 2 games to watch in the other semi-final, and we're in the 4th game right now. And we're going to have Risky Behavior versus Neilm. They have banned out Isis and Circuit on the side of Risky Behavior. Meanwhile, Neilm have banned out Hell and Zeus.
So, we are still a little bit, of course, in the healer meta, as everyone knows, so we are going to be seeing things, like anti-healing, or those, the big anti-heals in the form, of course, Circuit, and then the big heals on top of that, that's what I meant to say. And we're going to be seeing the Soul picked up by Risky Behavior, no surprise there. Soul's been very influential today. Xing and Awilix going to be returning faces, returning chest face in Xing's case for today. And I want to see if we're going to see any surprise picks, because look at where we are right now. It's 2-1 in favor of Risky Behavior, I believe.
Yes.
And we're going to be seeing the Naja coming up here. I like that we've seen once or twice today.
Yeah.
But at the same time, he can do a lot of work as long as he gets the setup, because he can go in. Essentially, he can either turn himself into ridiculous killing power, or if he doesn't get the correct protection, which of course Geb can provide, he's just been picked up as well, it's essentially a one-man suicide missile.
Yeah, he can be pretty ridiculous, and we've seen Skeeledon and CrazyToaster today actually winning games on him, so I'm expecting something pretty good. Whether he'll go into the solo lane or the jungle, we'll see. I imagine this will be the jungle Naja, though, because they want to try and make sure that he has as much potential to gank and get these ultimates off. Plus, I think they're going to get a very good combination with whoever they draft into the mid lane, and that'll just be a very interesting one to see.
So, we do see the Awilix, of course, that's going to telegraph that they're going to want a lot of knockups. Ideally, of course, Xing does provide that with the hook and slam. You can pull someone out of of the first hook if you're quick. So, we do see Anhur was picked up and going into the bans as well. Zhonghui banned out by Neilm, and then the Nox ban being taken out by Risky Behavior. So, Risky don't want any part of the CC shenanigans locking down their main carry or their jungler, and Neilm, of course, Zhonghui being extremely powerful right now, has risen up in more frequency, purely because, arguably because of the buffs he had to his protections and health scaling, but also people realizing that, oh hey, being able to say this entire area for 5 seconds, no one enters, no one leaves, is a really powerful thing. And speaking of area denial, Janus is going to be picked up by Neilm.
Yep, Janus makes sense. He's just such a large, aggressive mid laner that you can also just run around with. Plus, we still don't know whether this is, who the mid laner is on Risky, and we don't know who the solo laner is on Risky as well. And both of these guys have played Janus today, so it could go either way. However, the Ra is going to be hovered on and locked in for the side of Risky Behavior, so we're finally going to see the Ra, a new god, in today. That's going to be quite an interesting one up against the Janus in mid.
So, Ra-Janus, that matchup traditionally goes one of 2 ways. Either the lane entirely stalemates, because as much as Janus can poke, Ra can just out-heal his way out of it, as long as he doesn't take too much extreme poke. Or, one of these people will steamroll, purely because Ra, of course, has a huge damage up front, plus the heal, which allows him to outlast Janus, but Janus has the escape ability, way more so than Ra, so that would allow, say, his jungler to come in and assist. And we are going to be seeing Bellona picked by Risky Behavior. That is most likely going to be their solo, although we can see some shenanigans with Bellona Jungle Naja solo. That has happened in the past, and we're going to be seeing the Mercury locked in by Neilm to round out their picks. I am curious to see where everyone goes in this matchup, because there is an almost excessive amount of mobility on the side of Neilm. They've got Suko and Mercury, who are very fast, in a straight line. They've got, literally in Mercury's case. And we have Janus, who can just, aircraft drop people through walls if need be. So, what are the best ways for risky behavior to deal with that besides good ward coverage?
Well, I mean, actually, this is something we've been seeing from Neilm a lot. They've got 3 of the same gods from the last game, so the Anhur, Awilix, and Xing, and they're all in the same positions. So we're gonna have to see what risky behavior do. They know how they'll be playing them, however, so risky behavior can try and counteract this. We also see, like you said, the Awilix is going to be in the solo lane, and the Mercury is going to be in the jungle instead of the Fenrir this time round, and instead of the... I have a brain fart, I can't remember who was in mid. No, it wasn't Nox.
No, it wasn't.
Who was it last game?
Oh dear God!
This is how tired I am right now.
This is how
tired I am right now. It is currently 11:30 in the afternoon for us. Well, not afternoon, evening for us. It has gone to really late. This tournament it has been going on for so long, but we are still very excited to be casting this one.
It's worth it though.
Oh yes,
it's been so worth it. But yeah, it's the finals. We have EU tomorrow, and NA in of itself. It's been really nice to see the combination because there's been less sort of team swapping and, rebuys and moving around that there has been in EU. There's been a lot more sort of solid focus on the gameplay and mechanics and the picks, and less of like, oh, who's going where, what team's going to be under what name. So when it comes to NA, I'm very glad to see the culmination of all of the events and how the different teams have been sizing up, because at this point, we've been through the round robins of the past 2 weeks, and we're on grand finals now. Both of these teams should, if they've been doing their homework, have a pretty good idea about each other.
Yes, I mean, they've been playing each other for quite some time, but we are gonna have to find out as soon as we get into the 4th game of this series of best of 5. Yes, we are in the 4th game. I am very tired. Velocity is new and is ready to cast. We are going to go to a very quick break. We will see you in a little bit.
Ladies and gentlemen, people of all ages, assassins, gods and mages, it is time for Game 4 of the NA Challenger Cup. And things are getting off to a very exciting start immediately, as Neilm are going to be looking for some kind of cheese invade, although Grishank, does he trip the ward? Let's have a look at the range on the ward. If I click on it, no! He didn't see it, they don't know. Although, yeah, now they know, but looks like risky behavior either had some game sense on that, or just knew they were going to do it. They decided to back off, play it safe, and Neilm's gambit is not going to work.
Well, Neilm have tried this all of the past 3 games, so it's pretty expected coming out from the side of them. Like, they've done it every single time, and they've not been able to catch anyone as of yet. They are still doing this very odd start, and I think this time Risky Behavior actually have this locked down, because look at where the wards are for Risky. They've got they've got a ward on the red buff, and they've got a ward on this right side mid camp, so they know the fact that they are going to be doing this mid camp on the left hand side here, and you can see that there's 3 people here. They're going to look for an invade, so Risky Behavior are just going to say, well, we'll just do backs, because we know what you're going to try and do again.
Yeah, and at the same time, Neilm, they did have that ward in the orange buff on the side of risky behavior, so their solo lane knows they've got a decent bit of time to grab buffs, and they're most likely going to get into lane at the same time, although a little bit of argy-bargy on the left side. They will actually steal FaymousHate's purple buff that would have gone towards him. That's a very nice bonus towards PandaCat, although, to be fair, because of Sol's passive, she almost has an inbuilt purple buff at max heat. So, yeah, the effect of that is negated a little bit.
In fact, she has over a purple buff at max heat. It's 15% for attack speed, where Sol's passive actually gives, I want to say it's 25?
Roundabout.
Or something like that. So she gets a lot more, so she doesn't have to worry about it too much, but she would definitely like to get the attack speed buff. Unfortunately, Neilm are doing a very good job of taking out those buffs before Risky Behavior can do anything. So, I mean, Sol is still level 1. That's how far behind she is currently, and they're actually just going to make sure that a little bit of the XP isn't going to go towards the side of Neilm, but they still do have that advantage, even though if it's just...
Oh, no!
Oh.
I thought Covi was going to go away there, that's why I didn't say anything. But it looks like he actually got body blocked on the minions, and that's going to be first blood going towards Risky. Skeeledon managed to hit the perfectly timed sash to stop Covi from getting around the minions, which is unfortunate for him, but that's very nice for them, because Skeeledon's going to be able to get a little bit closer towards getting his boots on land. But looks like in the mid lane, they may want a little bit of revenge. They're inside the Light Blessing. Skeeledon taking a lot of damage. It gets quite low, although he's going to be able to get away thanks to the ticking on the health pot, plus XenoTronics healing as well. So nothing really too dangerous going. But over in the solo lane, once again, Covi taking just incredible amounts of poke right now from Bellona.
Why are PandaCat and NeiruMah so far up? They were looking for... I don't know who they were looking for. They were just sitting behind the tier 1 tower. So...
Risky must know.
Yeah,
they must know about this.
Wait, no, they don't know about it. They don't know.
What?
Wubbn could get caught out here. He does have the impale already. It's going to go into the wall. Wubbn take quite a bit. The Stone Shield's already down. PandaCat is just getting quite a nice couple of basic attacks in, and this is going to be another kill.
Oh.
PandaCat taking out Wubbn.
NeiruMah positioned himself very nicely after the hook slam there. Body blocking will allow PandaCat to get the kill. That's, of course, the ideal person you want to get is the carry, but in comes Skeeledon. There's the suicide rocket. Well, it won't be suicide in this case unless Janus has his way. He's going to come over. PandaCat is going to leap up and down in the air, but that will allow those time to get away. In comes the Mercury Sonic Boom from the side. There's the Furious Roar reducing his attack damage, and Grishank picks up the kill. Extremely nice rotation. There is the hyper mobility I was referencing in the picks and bans on the side of Neilm.
Yeah.
Wow.
There was a very near kill onto PandaCat, actually. XenoTronics tried using the Ra ultimate to finish him off. Unfortunately, couldn't find it, and now he could be in a little bit of trouble as Whirlwind of Rage and Shrill comes out, and he doesn't have beads just yet. XenoTronics could get into a very sticky situation as everyone's over here. He is pretty fast for a bird, and he may just get out, but is it going to be fast enough? NeiruMah's going to miss that. He's actually going to still be alive, and now Skeeledon's here, going to get some very heavy slow, but he doesn't have his ultimate, so he isn't going to be able to find the kill.
Yeah, and meanwhile, over at the right side, we're seeing a little bit of RG-barge between Covi and CrazyToaster. Covi with a nice juke, using his ability to turn the mouse to get around the sidestep penalty. But, oh, in comes the Roamer Invictor. He will hit just on the edge, gets the kill. He is going to die to the minions. That's going to be a mutual trade. My god, this is going to turn into Game 3 all over again, just constant fighting.
It could be. I enjoyed Game 3. It was a little bit ridiculous, but a whole lot of fun. We're actually going to see Wubbn and Skeeledon looking to gank this Grishank here. He doesn't know he's there, and Grishank is going to go down without a doubt, and that is going to be another kill for him. That's very unfortunate. Janus ulti comes through, but...
There's probably some yelling in the comms there. XenoTronics were trying to allow the ult, and Skeeledon, though, might get his comeuppance here. Covi and JiminyGlick come through the Space and Tin portal. He's going to get dropped through the portal. They're both fighting to try and get this kill. Gambit is around to help him. Wubbn, unfortunately, doesn't have another shield up in time, so JiminyGlick is going to pick up that kill. Covi with an extremely nice Moonlight charge into the Gravity Surge, and it looks like Wubbn's goose is cooked unless Ra, the Space Chicken, comes over and gives him a hand. JiminyGlick teleports through with transition to get himself out of there, but meanwhile Covi is going to pick up Wubbn, and this is a 3-on-2. Unfortunately, Janus is not going to be able to help. In comes Mercury on top of the Roamer Invictor. That's going to allow Covi to get away scot-free. CrazyToaster and XenoTronics are separated, but the rest of Neilm are going to be forced to retreat out of this fight. Oh my. This entire junction between right side mid cap and speed buff is just awash in blood right now. If it rendered it in the game. Just awash in blood.
Well, I mean, it does technically render it in the game on chat, but...
Oh, hang on. Looks like red buff is going to be under contention this time. Nice and penetrable. There's the Geb shield to provide a little bit of damage resistance. The incorporeal form of FaymousHate is going to allow him to get away. There's the damage over time. You need to stay inside the burn to get the kill. He gets away just in time. And now the counter-attack is on. Risky behavior going after Grishank. He will find it Skeeledon picking up with a single auto attack to the back of the legs. There's his Achilles heel. Nice use of the... Oh no! The Windfire Wheels was actually avoided because of the knockup went underneath him. Through time and space comes through. It's not going to snipe him. That... I wouldn't say that was miscommunication. That was just unlucky on Risky Behavior's part. They could have had another kill there, but, you know, one ability happened to go off at another. That's something you can't really plan.
Yeah, I think... I mean, there was a little bit of miscommunication in terms of the fact that Wubbn wasn't told by Skeeledon that he was going to use his ultimate. and that just leads to some very unfortunate events happening there. But they are still able to win that fight just a little bit. Over in the solo lane, we're going to see CrazyToaster doing quite a bit of damage to Covi again, and this could be another kill if CrazyToaster wants to go in. He's going to get a very nice bludgeon, actually. There we go, finishing him off there.
Yeah. Right now, CrazyToaster is having a jolly good time over in the solo. Now, of course, Awilix can do fairly well if she gets the constant poke on the minions and Bellona using the feather step.
In the dual lane, PandaCat gonna find out. FaymousHate, Grishank used his ultimate to get in, and he's just got out in that one as well.
Can we stop fighting so we can do some analysis, please?
No.
But
why?
Gold Fury. Yep, Gold Fury is gonna be started up here by Neilm. They are just making so much good use of their time. They gain off these little rewards they gain of actually picking off certain people. They immediately go for one objective or another. In comes the pincer maneuver by Neilm. They're looking for Skeeledon. Skeeledon forced to burn the ultimate to get away. In comes the Xing Whirlwind of Rage and Steel, tossing XenoTronics back. Cataclysm will be deployed by Wubbn. Wubbn extremely low, forced to pop the Stone Shield. In through space and time is going to Spirit Gun Wubbn, and NeiruMah will get the credit for that though off the Furious Roar. FaymousHate, meanwhile, is trying to do some damage with the Unstable Burst, but nothing's going to happen off that. The pull was attempted there by Covi, but unfortunately no one was knocked up by that, so no dice there. JiminyGlick, meanwhile, doing some very good harass with the portal into Unstable Vortex, forcing XenoTronics to be a little bit more careful that he doesn't get too greedy. Yes, he has heals, but he is still relatively squishy. He only has the extra health provided by the Vampiric Shroud right now.
Yeah, so we're gonna finally see a disengage coming out there. It was quite a long fight, but nothing really happened out of it. Just everyone was getting quite low. I think Neilm were trying to bait around the gold tree, but there wasn't really anything to bait because they were too low to be able to actually take it. And I think Risky knew this, so they were just gonna sit around.
CrazyToaster is almost successfully 2v1ing right now. That's what happens when the Bellona gets a little bit of an edge. Yep, Gold Fury. They might get this. NeiruMah can only really do so much here right now. It's a 4-man versus 1-man situation. Ultimates are going to be deployed. Risky behavior will gain that. Putting the Golden Express firmly in their favor, 1.3k XP to 1.5k gold. Mercury charging in, he comes. That's a 3-man disorient. Shoved against the pole. Beautiful deployment by PandaCat through time and space will come through. FaymousHate taking a lot of damage. Forced to pop the incorporeal form to use the extra movement speed to get away. Covi looking to throw over the wall, but unfortunately will not find the Moonlight Charge. Neilm and Risky Behavior have just stuck a brick on the gas pedal, and as the fight is happening, CrazyToaster immediately going for split pushing, but then Neilm respond by doing their own thing in the mid tower.
Yep, but I mean, as long as CrazyToaster can find that tier 1 tower, it will be a big benefit to them, because they were able to take out the Gold Fury beforehand as well. However, Covi's going to be here, and then we've got JiminyGlick coming up fairly close as well. Covi is going to be trying to fight CrazyToaster. He's actually taking quite a bit of damage, and though CrazyToaster is going to go onto JiminyGlick, very nearly killed him, and now Covi's going to be chased down by Crazy instead. Luckily, though, with the Suku, it's going to get him too far away. However, in the mid lane, Risky Behavior are pushing again.
But however, now we see PandaCat doing some pushing over in the duo lane. But however, now Risky Behavior are pushing the bloody mid tower. I want to say, is someone doing some dodgy stuff with the unions? Because it's Destruction Crew / Construction 2 2015 here. Nice ultimate there by NeiruMah, going to use the Whirlwind of Rage and Steel to keep Risky Behavior in line. They don't want to let them get any big advantage on the tower. They need a front line to work with. The tier 1 dual lane tower does go down to Risky Behavior. We did see PandaCat doing a good job split pushing there. And now it looks like another fight happening. Mercury ult through the mid side. Nice use of the knockup, going to allow JiminyGlick to get the kill, but FaymousHate will pick up JiminyGlick in revenge for his fallen comrade. Grishank is in the backline looking for XenoTronics or FaymousHate. Let's see who he goes for. He's in the middle of the team. The rest of Neilm backed up. FaymousHate is going to burn the Messenger of the Gods to us crisp. That's going to be a
meanwhile in left lane.
Oh my god. Yep, that's going to be a second tower down for Neil, and in favor of Neil, and NeiruMah teleport back in, and he's going to be cooked to a crisp this time by the other god of the sun in this case, going to be the Ra. CrazyToaster forced to retreat after taking a huge bit of damage. In goes Covi and PandaCat. They're looking for some picks. Nice gift shield by Wubbn onto XenoTronics. He's forced to get away. That speed of light passive is really helping. We saw him do some pretty good jukes earlier on, and it looks like he's going to be able to get away.
Yeah, FaymousHate has
a passive though.
Yeah, the speed of light passive really helped. The Speed of Light passive really helped, along with the Stellar Burst coming out from Sol. Made sure he's going to live, but unfortunately, Grishank going to find XenoTronics in the background, and now Wubbn is going to be in a lot of risk. Not going to get hit by the Janus ulti, though. He is going to be able to roll out, and now it looks like CrazyToaster wants to go in on JiminyGlick. Skeeledon does not find the tickle stick, unfortunately, as he has to then look for somewhere else.
Yeah. So, okay. Let's have a look around now that hopefully the fighting is stopped. Good. Oh, never mind. Right side near the blue buff. It looks like we can see a little bit more argy-bargy. PandaCat is going to pop the pillar to give himself a little bit of room. 4 members of Neilm are around, and I imagine Covi's going to be joining them fairly soon. CrazyToaster is going to be dropped through the portal, takes a good bit of damage, but luckily he did have 1 or 2 stacks of his passive online. Plus he's got extra health off of the Rune Forged and Heavy Hammer, so he's going to be able to take a good bit of that damage fairly easily. Mercury is being charged. They might be thinking of something here. They might try and bait them to tower, because this tower might go down here. Never mind, more fighting. In comes the Mercury ultimate. Gonna get beads, but that ultimate by the Xing will not. NeiruMah is very low, getting bursted down by the tower. That tower is really helping risky behavior right now, in terms of just burning through the health pool of Neilm. Mercury gonna look for the special delivery, but Skeeledon's gonna get cleansed by Wubbn before the throw can happen. Nice portal is gonna zone out the rest of risky behavior. They cannot follow, but never mind, I am corrected. Skeeledon uses the sash to try and jump over. The knockup is going to happen by Covi, but very nice snipe. Covi and Suku are going to get absolutely destroyed by the Searing Pain. But JiminyGlick and PandaCat are still in the fight. It's 2 versus 4, but the 4 are still, you know, hurting a bit. But they do have a healer, so that's not gonna matter too much. PandaCat burns a questionable ult. Honestly, he probably should have just saved that in case he gets jumped.
Yeah, you got to be quite careful about that. I mean, he shouldn't be too bad. I mean, usually when he does channel this ultimate, he's probably dead by that point. FaymousHate gonna have to use the Disapparate to try and get away a little bit. It's gonna not take too much damage, but PandaCat's gonna go in. This could be very risky for him. He's actually gonna go down to FaymousHate there, and now JiminyGlick's got to be pretty careful. They're going portal through the wall, then there's gonna be a nice little whirlwind of Rage still coming out very soon. NeiruMah is doing what he can. Grishank has teleported into the ward, and now we're gonna see Covi here as well.
I thought these guys were just trying to have, you know, a passive war battle originally, but, you know, we saw the invade didn't happen. But no, they're essentially just opening up their own Janus portals, but instead of portals, they're active teleport to wards, just all over the map right now. Well, unfortunately, that gank attack with Covi didn't work.
This was something that we've seen the past couple of games as well. Anhur gets teleport to wards, and Awilix gets teleport towards, and Mercury gets teleport towards. But Skeeledon is still going to go down after that great ultimate defense. He is going to go up into the air, trying to defend himself from Grishank, but there are 4 people around him. He was not going to get out of that.
That's a Neilm sandwich and risky behavior. Skeeledon was the filling. NeiruMah forced to retreat here. He does have the passive fully stacked. You can see his face on his chest is burning nice and bright, so he's going to be able to regenerate fairly nicely. And now the rest of Neilm are going to be looking to posture up and try and find some poke onto risky behavior, force them back. Most of their towers are being, well, actually one of their towers is being pushed on the left side. They're going to be forced to go over to that area of the map. Gold Fury is up, so they want to test that. But at the same time, if they're not careful, FaymousHate or Skeeledon could try and go for a split push.
Yeah, we're going to see Neilm taking the Gold Fury, but NeiruMah is getting quite low. The portal's going to come through. He's not going to use it, though. Instead, he's going to try and use it, but the XenoTronics snipe going to go through the wall. Going to be another kill going to the side of risky behavior. However, the Gold Fury is going to put Neilm in the gold lead.
Right. Let's take a second to look at the build here while the rest of risky behavior are grouping up to charge this tower. We are seeing the Heartseeker on the...
Wait, sorry about that. We're going to see CrazyToaster going using the Eagles Rally in. PandaCat has actually teleported to the tower. Wubbn going to get a very nice Cataclysm, followed by Skeeledon using his armillary sash onto Covi. Unfortunately, they can't find any kills off of it. They do force quite a few away. Is this going to be a grouping for Fire Giant? This could be a Fire Giant grouping.
There's no way they can do Fire Giant right now. They're too underleveled.
But it looked like they were going for it, but that just seemed wrong. PandaCat can jump in, actually.
Hello, it looks like PandaCat, he was disarmed, so he wasn't able to really capitalize on the extra damage coming off the shifting sands. But rest of Neilm are grouping up. They have really nice ward coverage around this area. They're going to be baiting out the Fire Giant.
They're doing Fire Giant.
And I think this is gonna be a bait. They know that at least 2 members of Risky Behavior are in the area. The rest of Risky have come around. I highly doubt they're gonna be able to get this. CrazyToaster is in the front line. He's looking for a nice disarm or maybe a bludgeon here. NeiruMah is really out of position. Unfortunately, they didn't have the ward around that the orange buff section, so they didn't know the rest of Risky was there. I'm gonna guess in their comms that they assumed that maybe 2 were there, and the rest of Risky was still in base. They didn't expect them to push up that fast.
NeiruMah was still tanking out the Fire Giant. That was the biggest problem. It did stop going for him. He didn't leash it far enough. And that just made sure that he wasn't going to be... He was taking so much damage. Like, about 80% of that was actually to the Fire Giant. Gonna see Skeeledon, though, trying to fight Grishank. Gonna miss the ulti, though. Grishank should be able to live. No, he's channeling his ultimate right now. He's got too many people out. The portals are there, but he's not going to use it. Just going to use the ultimate across there. Gonna get hit by a tower shot, and he is still dead. Grishank not going to get hit by that, but there is another tower here as well. Olympian Brute gonna get fed for that kill.
Olympian Brute is going to be joining Cloud9, confirmed. So, looking at the way this is going, Neilm just lost their Mercury for 30 seconds, although Covi is split pushing. That's 2 members down. Risky Behavior could try and go for at least a grab on the Fire Giant. They'll take heavy losses in terms of health and maybe a kill or 2, in terms of getting baited potentially, or even grabbing the fight. Yeah, they're going to leash it. They just want to stay around. They just want to occupy that space. Don't let Neilm get sizable positioning when they're at the numbers disadvantage.
Yeah, well, FaymousHate already on half health, and NeiruMah trying to go onto FaymousHate in the background, not going to be able to do too much though. In the meanwhile, JiminyGlick is going to be the first one to go down. No, the Janus ultimate is going to keep him alive a little bit longer. Now CrazyToaster has got to be quite careful about where he goes, as there was a TP in from Grishank. He's probably going to go down here as he doesn't have much escape. Wait, no, the rest of his team's here as they can't. They've just been stopped being zoned out by the NeiruMah, and now PandaCat ultimate use. Copi's in here with the TP. What the hell is going on with these TPs?
Well, I was about to look at the level differences, but I've realized a lot of these guys are relatively under-leveled than you'd expect at this point in the game. We're almost at 20 minutes. You'd expect at least 1 or 2 people to level 20, although it looks like ultimate is going to be deployed by Skeeledon onto PandaCat. Supernova come down. PandaCat forced to try and disperse his way out of there. Roral is going to miss him. It only just barely missed the back of his tail. CrazyToaster is going to pick up a kill with a nice shield charge. FaymousHate going to get a little bit of a heal off of the burn, but nothing too dramatic. Neilm are very scattered right now, and it looks like Grishank is going to be pushing down towers here. Really, he should be helping his team out. They can't afford to be at a numbers disadvantage. JiminyGlick comes through the wall and teleports back out right after doing an unstable vortex. They're going to be able to pick up the kill. That's going to be a 2-for-1 trade in favor of Risky Behavior, although if CrazyToaster's not careful, it could be 2 for 2. He's pushing out very far, but the amount of damage JiminyGlick is doing, especially considering that he now has the spear online, can be deceptively high as Janus.
Alright, so we're just about to hit the 20-minute mark into this game. This is the 4th game of the finals. The XenoTronics takes insane amounts of damage, but is it going to be enough? JiminyGlick is going to go down to CrazyToaster. Grishank is going to be in the middle, though. Going to get the bees away from XenoTronics, but it's not going to be enough, and the Eagles rally over the wall is not gonna finish him off. But now we just hit the 20-minute mark. It is 2-1 in this set. It is a best of 5. It's Risky wins this game. They win. They get first place in the Challenger Cup finals. If Neilm win, we'll be going to a 5th game in this set after a very long day, and it will still go on. No one wants to lose this money because this is a cash prize pool that they are fighting for.
You know, I wanted to reference a comment that Shadowboy made. $3,000 for second place, or I can't remember what the top prize is for first place. I'm having a memory blank on that.
5,000 for first, 2,500 for second.
Yeah. But you may think, oh, it's not too shabby for a single day. These guys have been competing over 8 weeks to get here. And they're going to be fighting for all of those 8 weeks to get as high as they can. Both of these teams are in the money, it's just how much they can get. And it looks like both teams are going to be having a little bit of an engagement round. No, it's a big engagement. JiminyGlick gets initiated on, but portals away before he gets finished off by the ultimate thanks to his Aegis Amulet. Skeeledon gets knocked up, but Covi gets cooked by XenoTronics. That's going to be a 1-for-1 trade. Although NeiruMah is in a very precarious position. Whirlwind of Rage and Steel's going to get beaten away by FaymousHate. Wubbn might look for a shockwave onto NeiruMah, slow him down to allow Famous to catch matchup. Disapparate is up, so he wants to run a ring around him and get the stun flame off. He can. There we go. He's incorporeal. There's the detonation. You can detonate that early if you wish, and it is going to go off. NeiruMah is eliminated. Looks like JiminyGlick DC'd, unfortunately. I'd expect the pause coming up very soon. PandaCat deploys the ultimate onto Wubbn, but shield plus heal is going to allow him to sustain through that. But this entire time, Grishank has been playing the role of split push extraordinaire. But he doesn't have a lot of penetration, so it's not going to be very effective, and he's about to get pincered on.
Yeah, and this is what Grishank going to get a very nice ultimate. FaymousHate actually not going to be dead just yet. The incorporeal form just came out. Perfect timing. Janus ulti as well, not going to hit. It could have hit if FaymousHate decided to go one way, but he went the other instead. Luckily enough, going to keep him alive. CrazyToaster is in middle lane against PandaCat and JiminyGlick. Question is he going to be able to be alright? Taking quite a bit of damage from JiminyGlick here, but he's going to 1v1 PandaCat pretty easily. Nozjar's going to miss the ultimate though, and now everyone is just chasing the rest of Neilm. As in the backside, FaymousHate is sitting on about 2/3 of his health, but CrazyToaster's got a recall.
Both of these teams have a big ace in the hole in these fights. Let's have a look at it. So, Neilm, they have JiminyGlick. That is arguably one of their big aces in the hole. Those teleports through walls, thanks to the portals, is huge. That has allowed people to escape or get back in. People in the chat were quoting the Janus drive-by that JiminyGlick performed a few minutes ago. That kind of thing anyone can do thanks to through space and time. But at the same time, risky behavior have a lot more tankiness, and more importantly, they have a source of reliable AoE healing that's easy to do in the form of the Ra. That has tipped so many fights in their favor just a little bit, combined with the Geb shield. It's enough to where people haven't been killed, and it's causing these extended engagements. Look at the levels. People are still, around level 15, a couple of people are 18, 17 because they're able to farm out lanes, but there's fighting around the goal here, and let's see who gets it.
Well, CrazyToaster right now trying to fight out NeiruMah as they had to leash the Gold Fury, sadly. He's on about half health already, though. NeiruMah's trying to go in on him. Nice honor pillar. Actually going to mess around NeiruMah instead. The Whirlwind and Rage Shield is going to come through. Both of them are going to get knocked up. CrazyToaster on about 1/4 of his health now, but Geb's going to be one to focus on as Grishank comes in with his ultimate. Ra's going to use that. JiminyGlick finished off Skeeledon in the mid lane, and Grishank finishes off Wubbn there. CrazyToaster's pretty low, and he's just going to have to sit back. Now, this is going to be the Gold Fury going to Neilm, as I don't think Risky Behavior have any way of getting into this.
Yeah, we are going to be seeing the Sentry Wards come out by both teams, so both teams know about that, but Neilm will be able to get that relatively uncontested. 2 members down for Risky Behavior. They're going to have their fair share if they want of just grabbing a couple jungle camps, but no, they're going to go back, buy items, and at this point, the items are going to determine, apart from, of course, misplaced positioning, these big fights, because there's just so much fighting. No one's been able to get a massive level advantage, apart from, say, CrazyToaster for Risky Behavior and Grishank for Neilm. They're the only 2 people who have been able to sit in lane and get farm. CrazyToaster was able to sit in lane fairly uncontested for an early part of the game, which gave him a small boost. Grishank has been split pushing like a champion, so he's been able to get XP off of the minions. And now, both of these teams will be posturing up around Gold Fury, except for Grishank, who is split pushing again the side that's opposite Fire Giant, forcing Risky Behavior. They're going to have to respond, otherwise they will lose a Phoenix here. I want to see what they do about this, Lord.
Well, they're going to start by stunning out the Fire Giant. They're not really looking for it, though. FaymousHate is not really bursting it that much, but he is still focusing it. He's on about half health. He's actually got to be really careful. He's going to die. The Geb shield is just going to save him a little bit longer. The ultimate's not going to be finishing him off. Not going to be hit by the Janus ulti as well.
Oh, yeah.
And Skeeledon's going to be the one finished off there. However, FaymousHate took too much damage. The Whirlwind of Rage and Steel is going to rage into FaymousHate's face. And he's going to go down. Getting the shutdown is NeiruMah. Wubbn is going to be able to chase away. Grishank did die on the left-hand lane to CrazyToaster. And that means that the Phoenix is up.
CrazyToaster got there with the Phoenix at 50 health. I was watching there while that fight was going on. CrazyToaster, if he didn't get there 1 punch sooner, that Phoenix would be down. Nice timing.
Yeah, very nice timing. And now he's actually going to 1v1 Covi and is doing it pretty well right now. Covi doesn't have Suki to get away. This is just going to be another kill. Just a little tap on the side is going to be able to finish him off. We're 26 minutes in. This is 20-18. It wasn't as ridiculous as last game, but it is still ridiculous. If we have a look at the XP and gold difference, this has been the game the entire way, up and down in both directions. But now Neilm are still in the lead, and they're taking a pretty decent advantage, especially in the gold. The XP, though, is still quite even.
Yeah, because of the Gold Fury, they were able to get a lot of minions as well. On top of that, they're able to start thinking, we're starting to get the advantage, let's start being a bit more bully-like, they're bullying out Wubbn, which before didn't happen in these fights. Now Neilm have the positioning and enough power behind their attacks to where, oi, get out of our area, this is our area, not yours. Although risky behavior fully grouped up can punish potential greediness, we have seen in the past few games today, some greedy plays have been made by Neilm, so they have to be wary they don't fall into that trap again.
Yeah, they've got to be quite careful, but right now, risky behavior is sitting in a nice little tight group, which is probably not the best thing. NeiruMah is doing a very good job of zoning out all of them. Whirlwind and Ridge is still going to come out, only hitting the Ra, though, for the knockup, but everyone got hit by the Janus ulti afterwards. Skeeledon got to back off pretty quickly. Grishank going to get a very nice ultimate. FaymousHate is still alive, though, in the background, and now JiminyGlick is going to be quite careful. He's going to get the TP away, but he's still alive. Nice. There we go, finally going down. XenoTronics is going to take the kill.
JiminyGlick has been a slippery fatherless son in this, as PandaCat is going to pick up Skeeledon with the use of the ultimate. And now PandaCat is going to be forced to retreat. Wubbn, CrazyToaster, and XenoTronics are in pursuit. But bear in mind, Covi is on the side, activates the steroid buff off of the gravity surge. That is a huge stim, bear in mind, not just the pull. But look, Grishank is split pushing again and again. Relentless pressure punching down the Phoenix. The first one of the game will fall in favor of Neilm.
Yep, we do see the CrazyToaster chasing him right now. Meanwhile, XenoTronics is trying to get the rest of Risk Behavior out of this big Fire Giant fight, which didn't go too well for them. PandaCat's going to get quite a nice slow with that pillar. NeiruMah's here again. He wants to try and get his ultimate off, but there's no one really to follow it up. Covi going to get a fairly nice moonlight charge, but Wubbn's going to look for whatever he can. It's just not going to be close enough for them to do anything. Meanwhile, CrazyToaster takes out Grishank again.
Yeah, it seems Crazy has assigned himself to the role of, where the hell is Grishank, kill him now. Because Grishank, he's not really participating, he's doing the hit and run tactics, of course, that Mercury, that in theory was designed for. He's doing the sonic booms and bashing away because of his extra movement speed. But at the same time, he's also making use of the pen that he's just received at the Warrior's Bane to just start punching these towers down. He's gotten a lot of towers on the left side. He's just taken the Phoenix. During these fights, Neilm are tanky enough and dodgy enough thanks to JiminyGlick to where they can afford to do that, although looks like both teams are now going to be forming up around the Fire Giant in force. CrazyToaster impaled into the wall. NeiruMah is very low, while Wind of Rage and Steel is going to be deployed. Is going to hook two people away. In comes Risky Behavior. Nice Ras Knife from XenoTronics is going to take that a la Lazes. CrazyToaster pops the shield of the Underworld. Is very low, but he's reflecting damage. Covi almost gets annihilated from the shield of the Underworld reflection, but he gets away just in the nick of time. Fire Giant goes the way of Risky Behavior. That is a huge boon, but what can they do with it?
Finally, we see an objective fight going down in favor of Risk Behavior, which is a big thing for them. It will allow them to actually push down this mid lane and try and make sure that these fire minions aren't going to be pouring into their base too much. Plus, they can go to the tier 1 tower on the left-hand side and try and take that out, or go get the Gold Fury, because we are only 30 minutes in. Gold Fury still matters when everybody hasn't got their final items. We can see that everybody actually needs at least one item, because most people still have their starters.
Yeah. Most people, they're going to get replaced at some point, but they haven't been able to actually go back too frequently and also farm on top of that to be able to replace them. Because, they want to pick up some fairly big items for their last items, CrazyToaster most likely is going to want to pick up some form of attack speed, maybe an Executioner, or, if he's feeling cheeky, a Vitalis. Mercury is going to come through. It's been a field goal, unfortunately, between between Risky Behavior's formation, and now Neilm is going to be on the back foot here. FaymousHate forced to disapparate his way, but takes a good chunk of Janus damage. Skeeledon takes out Covi with the Windfire Wheels. Nice combination of ultimates. Well, the Risky Behavior's Wubbn is going to cataclysm now most of the damage. Grishank picks up Skeeledon with a nice 1-2 combination, and he's just harassing on the backline. He's doing a really, really good job right now of just being a pain in the backside of Risky Behavior. He's that annoying gnat that flies around, but he just happens to be loaded with venom, because he keeps taking your stuff.
Yep, he keeps taking your stuff, and he keeps doing a lot of damage. Wubbn blinking in there, not quite sure if he was going to do too much of that. Very nice portal, actually, from Jiminy. Going to be able to drop them into that. But the Rahil's going to come out again. Wubbn going to get a very nice knock-up. It's not going to be enough. FaymousHate is going to be dropped down to PandaCat. And now Neilm are going to look for the engaged, looking for Wubbn. No, not Wubbn. Yes, Wubbn. I'm going insane right now. And now XenoTronics is going to be falling down to NeiruMah as well. Looks like in the backline, CrazyToaster is going to be able to keep PandaCat away.
Bellona's the goddess of war, but she's not immortal. I mean, you've got the Shield of the Underworld, but you're playing very aggressive here. There's also Grishank, who's going man mode as well in the backline himself. PandaCat picks up the kill there. Grishank is going to get picked up. That's going to be a wonderful one trade in that little suicide for suicide, basically. I'm not sure if that was a deliberate choice there by CrazyToaster to go in there. He could have potentially escaped, but he didn't.
CrazyToaster had a perfect ultimate. Unfortunately, it was way too late. He had no health. He wasn't going to be able to benefit off of it. Neilm takes another gold fury. It's going to put them even further into the gold lead. Going to let them finish off their first couple of items and get their last items in their build. You can see now Anhur starting to build into that crit again, looking for the Deathbringer. Going to see Janus going into that Jitman Rodder Tahuti finally. Mercury is just finishing is going to go into a rage as well after getting so many crit and penetration items. He's going to start hurting very badly for the side of Risky Behavior.
I've just realized something. Neilm, Grishank wasn't playing Suicide, he was playing Delay. Risky Behavior have all but lost Fire Giant buff from getting killed left, right, and center. CrazyToaster lost it before going in, so he thought, why not? Let's stop Neilm from going in. I just realized this. They're playing heavy Fire Giant buff mind games. We saw this before in the last couple of games, and they're doing it again in this match as well. And it looks like was there a DC? It looks like there was a pause coming up, but I don't see any DC icons.
I don't see a DC, but it looks like there is going to be a brief pause as CrazyToaster does finally disconnect. I think it was probably one of those ones where he DC'd from the Mumble a little bit earlier than normal, but he should eventually be back. This allows us to actually talk about this game, because guess what? We've been spending so much time casting every single kill that's been happening. We haven't been able to have
about
time.
The items, but I can't. It's just been so much fighting. I just want to talk about other stuff. Okay, so let's have a look. So JiminyGlick, he's got the standard Janus build. He's got Fear of the Magus. You'll be seeing a lot more Shoes of Focus on a lot more mages. For those of you that don't know, 1 or 2 patches ago, the Shoes of Focus were buffed. They have 250 mana now, in addition, so there's a lot more spammability in terms of the Shoes of Focus, which is really what it was designed for. So you're going to be able to... You'll be seeing that fairly frequently for those of you wondering about that. But looking at the way the builds are going, we do see nothing too dramatic. The only thing that I can really sort of look at as something which was unexpected was just the amount of raw teleports. Actually, no, here's one thing. The fact that Grishank has still kept the Heartseeker, considering that he's negative KD right now. That item is monetarily not paying off for him because he keeps losing the stacks from dying. And that's not something you want to do. If you want movement speed, just pick up a wing blade or something, because this item is not helping you if you keep dying.
It doesn't matter though, he just needs that base power, and that's what he wants. He's looking for this base power so he can get the Felixes and take them down as fast as possible. The fact that it gives movement speed is helping his passive even more, because it's giving him even more even more physical power, because of the fact that his movement speed gives him physical power depending on how much it is. So getting that actually is really useful for him. He just wants to try and get this damage out so he can punch these Phoenixes to death, and he can do this very weird split push Mercury that he's been doing this entire time.
I would argue that, though, Wiz, because if he wants to push down Phoenixes more effectively, pick up more penetration, pick up something like, say, a Jotun's Wrath, or an or maybe Execution, although, debatably, that's unnecessary considering that he's got the attack speed buff. But, because he keeps losing those stacks, yes, he's got the base, you know, stats on Heartseeker, but it's 20 power and 10 movement speed. You get 20 power on Star Rhymes, for Pete's sake. So, in my opinion, I'm not sure, maybe there's some reasoning which I don't know of. I don't know the players personally, but just looking at it from an objective point of view, Heartseeker is monetarily not worth it for Grishank right now. He, in my opinion, should replace it with something else.
Well, I mean, currently he's sitting on 3 stacks of it, which is giving him an extra 18 physical power, plus because of the movements, the base movement speed, he's getting an extra 10 physical power from that as well. So he's actually sitting on a pretty decent 50 or so physical power from that item, which if he gets more kills, that's going to actually go even further in favor of him. So I actually very much like it right now, and I think it could work. He just needs to be in this fight.
And it looks like the fighting is about to begin around the Fire Giant pit. People have invaded his home, and the Fire Giant's rather angry about it. He's smacking away at FaymousHate right now. He's taking a lot of damage. He's got to be careful. He's only got the little bit of healing and then the heals from XenoTronics, but that AoE is going to be infiltrated fairly quickly by NeiruMah if he's not careful. Neilm are being fairly... They're being fairly respectful in terms of the damage Risky Behavior can do right now, in terms of any kind of initiation from Crazy and Wubbn into Raro or Skeeledon, so they're staying fairly far back, although bear in mind, JiminyGlick does have ult, so if he needs to, he can send people through walls if necessary.
It's not just JiminyGlick. Grishank just uses ultimate, and everyone's going to go in now. NeiruMah on pretty low in the backline, going to get a Whirlwind of Rage and Steel onto pretty much everyone, but it's not going to go and hit anyone. NeiruMah sitting on about half health, Grishank in the backline, but he's again not really going to find anyone, as everyone on Neilm is tanky, but they're not damaging. PandaCat going to get hit by the Eagles rally. CrazyToaster going to force to use the Shield of the Underworld. Everyone on the side of Neilm is actually starting to die now. NeiruMah forcing the backline to being focused by Skeeledon. Covi going to get a very nice ultimate onto FaymousHate and actually going to kill him before he gets the chance to start healing up and dealing damage to Covi.
But look at this! Grishank, once again, split pushing. That's gonna get pinged up by Risky. Oh, hello, that's actually gonna be a ward. PandaCat pops the 3,000... Actually, is that 3? No, that's only the 400 gold elixir. So he's gonna have a little bit of a... I thought he actually popped the 3k, but no, he's still building items. What are you saying, Verbal? But it looks like Wubbn is gonna get CC chained here. Pillar into the Sonic Boom. He's gonna be down for 1 minute. That is a huge bonus going into this Fire Giant engagement, or potential Fire Giant engagement.
Yeah, CrazyToaster is going to try and stop this going on, but I mean, CrazyToaster is 1v4 right now. He's not going to do much, and he got rooted in the middle of a Fire Giant lava pit. That's not good. Skeeledon unfortunately missing the ultimate there as well. Covi taking quite a bit of damage though. Is it going to be enough? I don't think it is. He's going to be forced to go back, and now NeiruMah as well, trying to 1v1 XenoTronics, but there's nothing going on. They're not going to do enough damage to kill them, as Grishank TPs into the ward that was placed a long time ago, and he's going to try and take out this right side Phoenix.
That XenoTronics almost got hit by the Janus, but yeah, the teleport. The fact that 3 members on Neilm have that teleport allows them to play very aggressive, because they can just go back and teleport back in. I like the fact that they're playing this aggressive. It's forcing Risky on the back foot, like we just saw. Covi gets taken out by a 3-man CC rotation by Neilm. Risky Behavior are now on the back foot. CrazyToaster is not going to be in front of the 18 seconds. The High Giant will be taken. Whirlwind of Rage is still used into a beautiful combination of the Gravity Surge. XenoTronics is going to be brought down to terra firma hard. Nice knock-up again. Covi is on point with these Moonlight charges through the walls. FaymousHate is going to get rooted, and the critical hit by Grishank, even with a Wubbn shield, is going to take him out. Wubbn, meanwhile, is going to force out the characters to try and save himself. Mercury was charging through time and space. It's not going to be required. NeiruMah jabs the actor to his back and takes him out. CrazyToaster now gets taken out. Risky Behavior, I think that may have been a bit of a desperate gambit, because Neilm are going for the jugular. They're probably going to get this, and Gord and Bloody Bennett, we're going to Game 5.
Yes, we are. This is Game 5 of the finals we're about to head into after an insane game between these two. Well, this insane set between these two. It's currently 2-2. Risky Behavior came into the start of this with a great couple of games, absolutely dominated, and then Neilm went, lol no, we're gonna change some stuff up here, we're gonna go for a lot of fun.
I'm going for a bloody drink, is what I'm gonna do.
Yeah, that sounds like a good idea right now.
So yes, we'll be right back, ladies and gentlemen, Game 5 of the NA Challengers Cup Grand Finals coming up.